right, the House Intel Committee Chairman Devin Nunes, he blasted the Justice Department yesterday during an interview claiming that some within the DOJ, they're hoping Republicans will actually lose the House in the midterm elections. He also said that if there was evidence the Russians were colluding with the Trump campaign in 2016, Congress would have been briefed on it at the time, which they were not. Now, remember, it was Chairman Nunes back in 2014. He sounded the alarm about Russia's malicious intent to cause chaos around the world and, yeah, in our very own elections. Here now is the House Intel Committee Chair, Devin Nunes. So with all this talk about meddling and interference, it happened at least in 2008. It happened in 2012. You warned the Obama administration very publicly in 2014, and now we're supposed to act surprised that it all happened, although, you know, it was under Barack Obama's watch, not Donald Trump.
Yeah, Sean, look, I think I warned them not just in 2014, but very specifically in 2016, where I called it the largest intelligence failure since 9/11, our failure to understand Putin's plans and intentions. And remember, by that time, we had seen the Russians actively involved in many elections around the globe. So they were actively trying to interfere in elections in Eastern Europe and some of the former Soviet states. So this was nothing new at all. And what I'm most upset about in this whole situation of many things, but when you go back to that time period, is how they were able to ignore the warnings that we were sending from the House Intelligence Committee. And then, lo and behold, after they lost the election, they first tried to blame fake news. And then when that didn't work, they switched it into this whole concept of Russia.
So this is a big point, too, is that if there were any collusion, certainly you would have known about it at the time. And if anything had come out between now and then, you would have seen that, as you have seen almost everything. So the question is, well, why is the witch hunt going on? And and how do you look at the Mueller indictments, then, of these 12 Russians that are the equivalent of our CIA operatives? They're never coming to America. There's never going to be a trial. Mueller, you know, indicted these bot companies thinking they'd never respond. Now he's asking the judge in that case if they could literally not turn over any documents. In other words, that there won't be any disclosure.
Well, and remember, so it's not just about the warnings that I gave in 2014, 15, and 16. It is also a fact that a year and a half ago, the House Intelligence Committee had more than what's in the Mueller indictment of the 12 Russian officers. Okay, so we had more information than that. Now, and we put it in our report in March. It was in our report that was made public in April. It's heavily redacted, remember, by the Department of Justice and FBI. But we had all this information. And so, you know, the thing that I brought up is I just find the timing of this to be very hard to believe, right?
Yeah.
You might give them the benefit of the doubt, but why does this always happen? Every time something happens on one side where we find out a new revelation about what appears to be real problems in the FBI and DOJ with this investigation, then all of a sudden they drop an indictment. It's happened time and time and again, and this one is really bad.
So this is what I want to ask you. Do you think they're trying to literally, as you said, that you believe the FBI and DOJ, they're obstructing in terms of doing what is what your authority constitutionally is oversight, and they have been obstructing the entire way. And now there's talk about actually impeaching Rod Rosenstein, and there's talk about holding these people in contempt. And you say they're really doing this, hoping the Dems take over Congress and that it all ends then?
It's the oldest trick in the book. So many of the bureaucracies here in Washington know how to wait out Congress. They know to try to plan meetings on a Friday when they know there's not votes, or on a Monday when there's not votes. That's the time that they want to give things. They wait. They know that Congress is going to adjourn next week. And so the more that they delay for no reason, we're waiting on many documents, as you know. We're getting very slow, snail-paced cooperation that is clearly designed to wait until next week when Congress adjourns. Now, I have news for them. they're still going to get to come in and give depositions. They may think they're not going to, but they're going to be coming in to give depositions throughout the summer, and that's part of the 42 names that I sent to Chairman Gowdy and Chairman Goodlatte. So I have every expectation that there will be many opportunities for these 42 individuals to come to Congress, even though they have tried to wait us out. And I think they'd love to see Republicans lose. And I say that, I hate to say that, but I have to believe the Department of Justice and FBI, the people at the leadership, they are banking on a loss by the Republicans in the fall, which is why people have to understand how important it's going to be to get out and vote in this election to ensure that the members of Congress are returned that are actively involved to ensure, because if the Democrats get control, they're going to drop all of this investigation. They're not going to do anything on this investigation.
They'll cover up the biggest. This was about literally trying to steal a presidential election. They'll stop it all. I hope you do hold them in contempt. And if it means impeachment, then that must be done. Otherwise, no congressional subpoena will ever have any teeth to it, ever. It'll be the end of it. Mr. Chairman, thank you for being with us.